Hello everyone. Today let's see how to print hollow right triangle pattern using C programming. So for this pattern, we'll first take n as our input. N will represent the height and base of the triangle. So this length would be n and also the base would be n. So let's see how we can print this. So firstly, we will draw the x and y axis. So this would be our x axis and this would be our y axis. So how can we represent our triangle? So to represent the triangle, we can take three lines. So this triangle can be represented by three lines. So this is the first line, and this is the second line, and this would be the third line. So using these three lines, we can represent our triangle. So let's quickly note down the vertices, coordinates of our vertices. So the vertex, this vertex would have coordinates. So x coordinate is 0, and y coordinate is n minus 1. Since there are n points in total, and we are starting from y equal to 0. So this point should have y coordinate equal to n minus 1. And this coordinate is origin, so we can represent by 0, 0. And coming to the third point, so this coordinate here, y will be 0 and x will be n minus 1. So let's note it down. So these are the coordinates. Now let's find out the equations of each of these lines. So this line, let's take this line. So for this line, we can see that x will be 0 in every point. Since this is a vertical line and it's starting from origin, so all the points will have x equal to 0. So we can represent this line as x equal to 0. Now coming to the next line, similarly this line has y coordinate equal to 0 in all the points. So we can represent this line as y equal to 0. Now for the third line, we can represent this line as x plus y equal to n minus 1. So you can take any point on this line. So if you take this point, so you have 0 plus n minus 1, which is equal to n minus 1. Similarly, if you take the other point, we have n minus 1 plus 0, which is n minus 1. So this line can be represented as x plus y equal to n minus 1. So these are the three line equations. So first one, second one, and third one. So using these three line equations, we can draw this triangle. So now let's go through the code and try to print this pattern. So firstly, we are taking n as input from the user. So n is an integer. And after this, we have to iterate over the y coordinates. So we'll start from y equal to n minus 1 and iterate till y equal to 0. So let's take a for loop int y equal to 0. And we have to go till y greater than or equal to 0. And we have to decrement our. So sorry, initially it is n minus 1 and we'll go till y is equal to 0 and we have to decrement the y in the process. So once we are at each row, we have to iterate through the x coordinate also. So x is starting from 0 and ending at n minus 1. So let's take another for loop int x equal to 0, x is less than or equal to n minus 1, and we are incrementing our x by plus 1. Now we are at each cell level at each point. So either the point should be a symbol or a space. So these are the two possibilities. And to know if the point should be filled with a symbol, we can find out that by using these equations. So if any one of these equations satisfy for the given point, then we have to print a symbol. Otherwise, we have to print a space. So let's take an if condition. So we have three conditions. So the first condition is for the first line, that is x equal to 0. So let's check that. If x equal to 0, or the second line equation is y equal to 0. So let's write that down. Y equal to 0. Or the third condition is x plus y equal to n minus 1. So let's write that down. So these are the three conditions. And if any of this satisfies, then we have to print a symbol. Let's print star. And if this condition doesn't satisfy, that is if no, the point does not belong to any of the lines, then we have to print a space. So let's print that in the else case. So once we iterate over the given row, we have to go to the next line. So for that, let's print a new line. So this is the code. Now let's try to run this. So let's pass n equal to 6. So yeah, we are getting the right triangle pattern, and it is hollow in between and only the edges are filled. So let's try for some other values of n. Let's pass n equal to 15. Yes, we are still getting the pattern. So this is the code. Hope you have understood the code. So if there are any doubts, you can put it in the comment section and I will reply to those. So thank you so much and goodbye.